it's Steve here in the Down to Earth Woodworking shop. You know, this little fixture here I built a number of years ago for a special place in a completely different shop. I repurposed it here in this shop, but it's not ideal. Originally, this was intended to be a little glue-up station. Paper towels, a place for my glues, and some other accessories here. Since then, I've expanded the amount of glues that I use, and I've got them filling a cabinet over here on the wall. I have cleaning supplies up here. I have a roll of paper towels and a roll of the blue shop towels down below, and my wax paper over here in this little slot. But I think this could be better. I could make it a little bit wider to fill up this space here. I could make it just a little bit longer, and I might be able to get my drawing paper where I can roll it out and tear off a sheet. And with a little luck, I might be able to get my freezer paper, which I use all the time as well. So, been fiddling around with some designs, and I think I've come up with something that'll work. Let's go take a look. Well, the construction on this is going to be relatively simple, at least for the outside. It's going to basically be a plywood box. Nothing fancy in the joinery, just butt gluing joints together. Right now what I'm doing is I've ripped the sides and the top and the bottom to width, and I'm gluing them on and clamping them down and letting them sit for a little while. The reason I'm having to do it in stages like this is that this piece of plywood was bowed, and I need these side pieces to straighten out that piece of plywood and get everything square and tight. So once the box is built, we'll start playing around with the stuff that's inside, and that's where the magic is. I think you're going to like this. Okay, this is the design for the side pieces that will hold the dowel that holds the rolls of paper towel, wax paper, and things like that. This is made out of 1/2-inch plywood. This is for the larger rolls, paper towels and the blue shop towels. And this piece is 11 inches long and 5 3/4 inches wide. And at 3 1/4 inches up from the bottom and 3 1/4 inches from the back side is a 1 1/4 inch hole drilled. Then I will saw down here and up this way and make a notch. Then cut this piece off, slant this and slant this, so that as you put the dowel into the roll of paper towels, you can come over the top and drop it into place. This dotted line is indicating a 3/4 inch wide, probably about 1/4 of an inch deep dado that will be run at a slant in this leg of the bracket. That dado will be on the inside face of the two brackets, and then we'll cut a piece of wood 3/4 inches thick, the length that will slide down in there, possibly with a weight on it, rounded on this end, that will ride against the roll of paper towels to keep it from spinning freely and to give you a way to tear off the towels. Now this is for the larger rolls of paper towels. For the small rolls like drawing paper and waxed paper, same exact idea, but scaled down. This is 4 1/4 inches wide, 8 inches high, and the hole is 7/8 of an inch to accept a 3/4 inch dowel. Same 3/4 inch dado for the piece that will slide down and hold against the roll. Now both of these drawings will be available for download, and I'll put that information at the end of the video. Okay, after ripping plywood, 1/2-inch plywood to the width for the large paper towel holder and then cutting them to length, I measured and located where the 1 1/4 inch hole would be located and drilled that hole. What I'm doing now is I'm making a template for the rest of them. Now using a square, you can just connect the edges of this hole to the top of the board, and this will form the notch where your paper towel dowel holder will drop in and hold the paper towels. The next step is to measure up from the bottom up to where this will be cut off and to mark the two angles. And then on this, since it's my template, I'm going to go ahead and put in the dotted line for where the dado will be located. Okay, so now my template is marked out. I'm going to take this one template over to the bandsaw and make the cuts. Okay, with my one template now cut out and sanded and shaped pretty much like I want it, I'm going to tape these pieces together in registration with double stick tape. I'm going to then mark the pattern on the top piece and cut all these out at the same time on the bandsaw. Sometimes the hardest part of using double-side tape is simply getting the backing off the tape, and I've tried every trick in the world, and the best thing I can find is just to use a knife and get under the edge of the backing, and it'll come up pretty easily. There we go. And what we want to do is we want to get these in tight registration. So probably the easiest way to do that is just to stand it up so the ends are flush, get the sides flushed, and then press it together. We're ready to do the next piece. Alright, now to cut this angled dado in this piece, we're going to need some way to guide the piece through the router table at the correct angle so that we can run this dado down this way. So what I've done is I've just taken an old scrap construction grade plywood here, and I've lined up this dashed line even with the edge here, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to mark this out, and we're just going to make a little cradle here to hold this workpiece. And it really doesn't matter about this end, we can just cut it off anywhere. And this is the edge that will ride against the router table fence. The cradle will hold this at this angle and run the bit right along those lines to make our dado. Okay, so there we go. That should guide us straight over the router bit. Now we've got to figure out how we're going to do that side. And that's actually going to be pretty simple, because what we're going to do is we're going to move the fence to the other side of the router bit and just flip everything over and do the inside side of what will be the right hand pieces. When we do this edge, this will be the left hand side as you're looking at the unit. Now we've got to take it kind of slow because it's hard to put a backer board back here on the back side. We're going to get a little bit of tear out, but that'll be alright. And then we'll use one of these we cut before to line this up. Now I just need to clamp this down, and we should be in pretty good shape. And that looks pretty good. Pretty good match. Now, making the smaller roll holders is exactly the same process, just on a little bit smaller scale. And we're going to use the same dado bit, same height, but we'll have to make a different little fence piece here to hold those pieces. But we'll get those pieces put together and we're ready to start assembling our glue up and clean up center. Okay, once you have these side pieces fashioned and cut size and shaped and the dado cut, then all you really need to do is just piece together how you want it laid out in whatever size box you wind up building. In my situation, I'm going to have a roll of drawing paper in this bottom section, a roll of freezer paper in this section, a standard roll of paper towels here, and a roll of the blue shop towels here. Then I'll be able to put glues here and here, and the little cubby hole that sort of occurred here because of the width that I made it, I'll probably use for glue brushes, maybe the small one down here for my scraper or a couple other supplies that I use when gluing projects up. Well, I've got the dowels cut to length to slide in and hold all the rolled paper goods. And the last real construction step is to cut a board which will be a counterweight that rides in the dados on either side of the paper towel holder and keeps the paper towel from freewheeling. And what you want to do is cut it just a little bit shorter than the distance between the two dados and make the board just a little bit narrower than the dados so it slides easily in the slot. And then you want to take a round over bit and round the end here so that it's nice and smooth to ride on your paper towels. And this way you can just tear off one paper towel with one hand and keep it from freewheeling around in your shop. Well, this project is almost finished now. I need to put my French cleat on the back, and I probably will dress some of these edges just to make it look a little bit better, and then I'll put a little finish on it so it looks like everything else in the shop, but it's pretty much ready to go. I've got places here for glue and cleanup supplies, and I think I might make a little box down here that'll slide out just to hold my glue brushes. The key to this design is in these end pieces, and the PDFs for the two sizes of paper towel roll holder end pieces are available at Highland Woodworking's website. Just go to the library section and scroll to the bottom till you see the Down to Earth Woodworker and look for these two PDFs, and you can download them no charge. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little project, and remember, you can make this any size and shape that you want to accommodate rolls of paper goods in your shop. Well, look forward to seeing you in the next video, and thank you so much for watching this one. See you soon.